Well, meanwhile, the governor of New York is facing mounting pressure to resign. Another controversial action by Andrew Cuomo. The New York governor ordered homes for the developmentally disabled to accept COVID patients, and he never reversed the deal. And now state lawmakers are demanding information about his book deal because of what they call, quote, suspicious timing. Here now is Andy McCarthy, former Southern District of New York assistant attorney and a Fox Business contributor. Good to see Andy. So you wrote a piece in National Review saying they're even lying about lying. What did you mean by that?
Well, you know, Dave, they told the New York state legislators, that is Melissa DeRosa, reportedly, who is Cuomo's top aide on his behalf, told the state legislators that they had misled them on the number of nursing home deaths because they were trying to conceal the numbers from the Justice Department, right, because they said they were afraid that Donald Trump's Justice Department would politicize them. So what that says to me is they would rather be thought felonious, potentially, than have it be known the reason they actually cooked the books, because as we now know, this all went back long before the Justice Department even opened an investigation, right, which was in August. We now know that back in the spring of 2020, they were well aware, as a medical report was being compiled, that the deaths that they were reporting attributable to the nursing homes were significantly higher than they were saying publicly.
And we should remember, by the way, that back then, back in the early spring, when he made these orders that led to the deaths of so many people, he and Donald Trump were pretty much buddies. I mean, yes, they were against each other politically, ideologically, but they were complimenting each other on their work, et cetera. So he couldn't have claimed back then that there was a vendetta by Trump to get him.
Yeah, you know, I seem to remember that, Dave, is like one day they were buddies and the next day they were, you know, hot after each other. But the one thing I'd say coming out of that is, and this is another, I think, unpleasant aspect of what the governor is going to have to explain eventually, and that is that Trump did a lot to increase the capacity for New York to be able to deal with all medical patients, not just COVID patients. But the big fear at the time was that if the pandemic got really bad, we'd run out of hospital bed space. So Trump did a lot, including bringing the naval vessel here and the Army Corps of Engineers being involved in the Javits Center to create a lot of hospital bed space that Cuomo didn't use, because in a lot of ways, I think he wanted to be able to say he didn't get that kind of help from the federal government.
And it wasn't, by the way, that wasn't just in New York City. There were facilities that were created all around. There's one in Westchester that I passed when I got my Regeneron infusions. That I think there was about $30 million that one cost, and we could have used them, by the way, for folks getting Regeneron infusions, because there's a lack of space for that. But it was closed up without one, I believe not one patient was put in there. Let me just ask, though, is Cuomo, you mentioned the possibility of legal liability here, at least in some kind of civil case, is he liable, if not in a criminal case, for all this stuff?
It's hard to tell at this point. There's civil investigations being run by the Justice Department, which have to do with the civil rights of institutionalized persons, potential false claims under the False Claims Act, because the state facilities get a lot of money from Medicare and Medicaid, federal money. So that has to be played out. There's a criminal investigation that involves what the Justice Department was told back in August when they started asking questions about the numbers of nursing home deaths, et cetera. We don't know yet, Dave, exactly what they were asked and what answer they gave. What Cuomo keeps saying is the bottom line figure, the total number of deaths they gave them, was always accurate. That may be true, but it's irrelevant if they were pointedly asked what was going on in the nursing homes and they gave false information.
Yeah. And by the way, as I mentioned in the intro, it wasn't just senior nursing homes. It was also people with developmental problems,
right.
Thousands of whom got sick because the orders went out to send patients with COVID to those facilities as well. Over 500 folks with developmental disabilities died from COVID as a result of that. And he never rescinded that order, by the way. That order remained throughout. So he's got a lot to answer for. So far, he's answered nothing, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of the depth of what happened here. Andy, great to see you. Thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it.